Hey, what's up, everybody? So, in today's podcast, I'm going to be talking to you all about the Fatal Response book by Jodie Bailey. Okay, so I'm going to read you all the synopsis for the book, and then in the Kindle version, at least, right past the synopsis for the book is like a little sneak peek into the book. It's just one page. It's just one page to kind of like get you interested in the book. So I'm also going to be reading that. I won't like change my voice to match the male character and then the female character. I'm just going to be reading it to you. So without any further ado, I'm going to read you the synopsis and then the little sneak peek into the book, and then I'll go into explaining more about the book and a little bit more than what the synopsis says. A killer knows his biggest secret and is one step ahead. Someone's targeting the families of soldiers in Sergeant Jason Barnes's elite military unit, and Jason's determined his secret ex-wife won't become a victim. But with his heart still wounded, he refuses to risk falling for firefighter Aaron Taylor again, as he puts his life on the line to guard her, though he can't keep his distance if he wants her to survive. Now, I love that one a lot. Okay, now I'm going to show you all the little sneak peek. I wouldn't have bothered you if I didn't think it was important. What could possibly... Aaron, I think you're in danger, Jason said. Okay, Jason, whatever game you're playing, I'm leaving. It's been a long night, please go. You know me well enough to know this isn't a game. The truth was, she didn't know this Jason at all. People changed. Another wife of a guy on my team died early this morning. This has nothing to do with me. There's more. My buddy Cole Dawson's ex-wife was found dead. 3 spouses in one day from the same team. A team whose last mission might cause someone to want revenge. Until somebody figures out how they got their intel, I can't promise whoever this is doesn't know about you two. Okay, if that doesn't pique your interest, you know, especially after me reading the sneak peek into the book, then, you know, this book is just not for you then. But oh my gosh, guys, this book was really, really good. It was one of my favorites of this year. Okay, so like the synopsis said, this guy named Jason Barnes, you know, he was in the military, and after a dangerous and frightening mission, very frightening, very soul-crushing mission, he and his team got sent back home. And they are to, I guess, for what it said in the book, I guess it meant that they tell other rookie soldiers about their mission and about their experiences. That is what the military wants them to do, so that is now their job, but they are not needed to fight on the battlefield anymore. This friend of Jason's, his wife, was not in bed, and her car keys were gone, and he started to get scared. And because of the whole, with the police, the whole waiting 24 hours to know, you know, to whether or not file a missing persons report, Jason's friend contacted him and said, look, can you find my wife for me? I'm scared. So the guy gave Jason his phone because they have apps on each other's phones to locate each other. So then Jason gets his phone. Now he gets the app and he looks on the phone and sees that she is at fire station. So he goes there and he hides his car some ways away, but then you see it in the POV of Aaron Taylor, which from the synopsis is Jason's secret ex-wife. So, but then she is a voluntary firefighter, and she is only there to stay all night, and she does that every single night because her father had a stroke and he needs to be watched during the day when he's awake. And the voluntary firefighter position lets her stay with her dad during the day and still have a job at night. And, sadly, she has to stay up all night to do the job, but still. But then, she told her cousin, who is a cop, that there has been a black car pull into the parking lot, stay there for a couple minutes with the engine running, and suddenly it just drives away after a couple minutes. Doesn't do anything, just sits there, then leaves. They think that it was a parent who had a child in the car who was restless, and the car ride is what makes the kid go to sleep. So she shrugs it off, but then she hears rustling in the garbage cans, and she flips on the light outside, thinking that, okay, it could be either a raccoon or a bear. So she flips on the light, and then she's already checked the locks in the building like 3 times at this point, because she's a little creeped out. But then she sees headlights pull into the parking lot coming in through the firehouse windows. And she contemplates, okay, do I go out there or do I wait and see if the person even comes up to the door? She does unlock the door and steps out, but stays near the building in case something goes wrong. Then she sees a woman get out of the car, and she is screaming, save him, please save him. And Aaron says, do you have anybody else in there? And she said, I came alone. Please take this. Please don't let them hurt him. And she tries to hand Aaron an envelope, and she's walking toward her to give her this, this package. Until finally, Aaron hears a car coming, and she turns around and looks, and it's the same black car that's been pulling in and out of the firehouse parking lot recently. She wasn't fast enough. The car hit the woman. The woman, smashes into the windshield, then, rolls off the car and, crumbles onto the ground, unconscious. The car zooms out of the parking lot and drives away. Aaron then goes to the mysterious woman and checks for a pulse, and she does have one. Then it flips to Jason's point of view, which is the first time you're going to be viewing Jason in this book. But then it shows that he is running towards this mystery woman, because she is a silhouette because the car that hit the woman who is now unconscious on the pavement is coming back to either finish the job to make sure that the woman is dead, or is coming back to hit Aaron. But Jason grabs the woman around the waist, yanks her down to behind the other woman's car, and the black car zooms down the alleyway from the firehouse, drives away, not seen again. Jason, after, calming down, after he shielded the woman with his body in case the car somehow, drive-by shooting or something else went wrong, she starts saying things like, "Get off me," and she like jams her head into his head, and and he's like, "Okay, well, thanks." But then she gets up and he notices something's familiar about her. If y'all are paying attention during the synopsis, they were once married. As the little sneak peek showed you all, for some reason, these girlfriends and ex-wives and wives and fiancés are some reason getting killed for no apparent reason as of in the beginning of the book. But it's kind of weird that, that it's going on and that for some reason it's the same team, but it's only the females. And a couple of the team members took their spouses or or girlfriend or whoever they are to them and goes into hiding to wait out this threat. And, I can see why. But then Aaron keeps getting targeted. But then, I cannot say how much I love this book because, I've been reading a lot of books recently that has stuff to do with, this guy finds this girl and the girl is in trouble, and either it's the guy or the girl who hasn't accepted God, and the guy has to protect her because the girl is being targeted by people, and and then along the way, whoever hasn't accepted God yet accepts God throughout this terrible time, and but this book was different because it had two people who knew each other and who knew each other well, and it was just a refreshing story because they both accepted God. That's not an issue in this book. But the one main issue of this book is the fact that right after high school graduation, Aaron and Jason got engaged. And then they got married after a short period of time. But her father didn't like Jason back then. And, he was really against her dating Jason. And then Erin thought that it'd be a good idea to take her dad's pride and joy of a car out joyriding to celebrate their marriage. Jason was driving and they got into a wreck. And Jason got a concussion while Aaron had a couple broken ribs and a broken leg. Now, but then, a couple days after after they both left the hospital, Aaron's dad was yelling at Jason for wrecking his car. And if you all heard what I just said, that doesn't make sense. Why would he be yelling at Jason about his car when his daughter is sitting right behind him with a couple broken ribs and a broken leg? He never mentioned once about how he's mad that Jason did that to his daughter. Oh no, he is ticked off because he wrecked and totaled his pride and joy of a car. And that's just a little insight into her dad, who I hate in this book. I absolutely hate him. Oh my gosh. But then him being angry at Jason caused him to have a stroke, and Aaron blamed herself. And then Aaron and Jason were married for 2 years. But then Jason kept trying to tell her that, your dad is using you. He's blaming you for his stroke because he knows that if he keeps doing that, you're never going to leave. and he kept trying to tell her that throughout those 2 years. He just kept doing it, and she just kept saying, no, it's my fault. I need to be there for him. He's my father. That's what a daughter should do. Yada, yada, yada. So, but then Jason, at one point, just had enough and enlisted in the army and said, why don't you go with me? She told him no, because she didn't want to leave her father. And Jason went to boot camp. After he came back from boot camp, she divorced him, which is really, really sad. So, yeah, I mean, that's really sad. But that's just a little backstory into the characters. You find all that out throughout the book, obviously. But anyway, you guys, I don't know what else to say about this book without spoiling it. If you all haven't read this book, as you seriously need to go read it, like right now. It is so good. It is clean, 100% clean. By clean, I mean, no cussing and no adult stuff. It might be a little bit gory. On a gory scale, I would say 2, possibly 3. But that might be too much for some people who doesn't like to see like any blood at all. But yeah, I will leave a link to this book in the Kindle format. I don't know if these books are available for paperback. I don't know. I've just been getting them on my Kindle. If they are, I'll have a link down to that as well. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast, and I hope you all will be able to join me next week for another book review. Trust me, I've been reading a lot, so these next few podcasts are going to be book reviews. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys!